Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. So much to share, and so many sweet friends with whom to share it. It's good to see you, Scott. Boker Tov. Penny, thanks. It's broadcast 1561. Jonathan, Kathleen, nice to see you. Scott and Neil, good to see everybody. Hope that you and yours are doing well. Let's see who's here on Facebook so we can say a few hellos here. Then we'll get started with a bracha, learn some Torah. Cecile, hi, welcome. Lydia, nice to see you too. Let's give Facebook there we go, a chance to catch up. Carl and Penny, Karen and Barry, Boker Tov, friends. Good to see all of you. Let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha, learn some Torah. All right, friends. It's good to see all of you. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. It's a beautiful day here in New York. Tonight is the first night in a very long time that the Knicks are in the NBA Finals, and I know that I don't usually mix different spheres of life, but go Knicks. This month is a very important month on our calendar. It is Pride Month. And because of everything going on in the world, including the beautiful Israel Day Parade this past Sunday, and a lot of the things we need to respond to, it's possible to be distracted from other things that are important and are enduring commitments of ours as a Jewish community. And so I don't want to miss the chance to talk about where pride belongs in the Jewish context. LGBTQ pride is a manifestation of God's own divine love. And I know that within our Jewish community, there are those who understand the challenge of this posed by the Torah's original language in the book of Leviticus and by centuries, millennia, of a different way of understanding human relationships between two men or between two women. But what we've come to understand, because Torah itself is a trajectory, a way of understanding life and God's own divine image as manifest in our bodies, the more we understand about how human beings are created and what gender and sexuality truly mean, the more we are able to achieve a recognition of God's image in the world. And it's Pride Month here in the United States, and because of politics, that becomes, less pronounced, but no less important for us to celebrate and understand. How do we do this in the context of Torah? First of all, let me give the general way and then talk more specifically. We understand that the Torah itself is a response to the world. It's a weird phrase, but before the Torah, and parallel in time to the Torah's emergence, there are other ancient documents that are the core of our world. Not only the Jewish world, and in those days the Israelite world, but there are other documents. Ancient Near Eastern texts, for instance. And when you compare the Torah to what likely, at least according to archaeology, comes before Torah, we understand that Torah is a progressive document moving us forward through time and establishing values on a trajectory of becoming. Why is this so important for us to remember? Because if we believe that we've already arrived at where the Torah wants us to go, we stop growing, and that's not what the Torah intends. And whatever you believe about God, that's also not what God intends. I remember in my own journey, I was ordained in 2002, and I went to be the assistant rabbi in a town called Sharon in Massachusetts. I remember meeting with a new friend who had reached out to me. Her name is Edith Klein. Turns out she had started an organization, a local organization in Boston called Keshet. And the design of Keshet was to bring people in the Jewish community to an awareness of LGBTQ needs and to try to change the conversation in Boston. Not only did she succeed in opening my heart to these questions, because it wasn't open before I met her, she was the first Jewish leader I had met who had taken the time to say, if you have questions about LGBTQ Jewish life, I'd love to talk to you about them. And thank God something in me was open at the time. And Edith has become a beloved friend and teacher, and her work with Keshet has now not only exceeded those expectations of a local Boston advocacy group, but has come to define in so many ways North American Jewish experience and internationally. She succeeded so much that she handed the reins as CEO of Keshet to a wonderful successor, Jamie Crass. And the power of this is to bring our awareness to a place that the Torah wants it to be. Now, for some, that's a very complicated claim, and I honor that. But let's use this week's Parsha to think about how the individual manifestation of God's own voice is part of the work of pride. For me to see God's image in someone else, well, that's my work. For them to know that they are created in God's image, well, that's the work each of us has to do. And sometimes, because of this language, when we say LGBTQ, we kind of minimize the impact of transgender in the larger equation too. We shouldn't do that. God's image continues to be manifest in those transitions as well. This is hard work for us, but it is a commitment that we make as Jews, as a larger community, to understand that love is love is love. In this week's Parsha, Behaalotecha, there's a seemingly innocuous phrase. Again, it's one of those moments where when you pay close attention to the text, some things are more exciting than they first seemed. So if you look at Numbers 10:2, right? So chapter 10, verse 2. There's a section about the chatzotzrot, the trumpets that are there when we move as a camp. The trumpets announce movement, like a shofar does. It also is part of the sacred service. And the Hebrew in that section of Torah is aseh lecha, make for yourself trumpets. And the obvious question that is asked every time the word lecha is in a verse, like lech lecha or shlach lecha, is it seems like an extra word. If you're supposed to make trumpets, it could just say aseh chatzotzrot, make trumpets. Why lecha? Why for you? There's a beautiful, beautiful way of understanding this, and I owe this specific understanding to my teacher, Rabbi Bradley Shavit Artson, who's about to become the distinguished scholar at American Jewish University in Los Angeles. He shares a midrash from Bamidbar Rabbah, a classic ancient rabbinic text. It's beautiful. The midrash points out, but Rabbi Artson is making sure we see, that a trumpet doesn't call attention to itself. The breath, the intention, the purpose of the person who is sounding the shofar is what makes it heard. The trumpet does not speak for itself. It is us using the trumpet. And so there's a story that the Midrash brings in about King Solomon. And it's based on two verses from Psalms. Don't get lost in the weeds here, but just trust me. Solomon says, "Se'u sha'arim rashechem," lift up your heads, O gates of Jerusalem, so that the King of Glory may come in. And the gates get upset because they think that King Solomon is talking about himself. Open up, gates, I'm about to walk in. And the gates say to King Solomon, who do you think you are? You think it's all about you. It's all about the lecha. And he says, no, the King of Glory is Melech Tzvaot, is God. In this Midrash, the rabbis who crafted are saying that even King Solomon, with all of his greatness, knew that it's not about him. Even though the verse that we began with says, Aseh lecha shtei chatotzrot, make yourself two trumpets, the way to understand this actually is that we must make ourselves into trumpets and make sure that God's own intention flows through us. This is not a simple message. It's not a simple task for us to accept. But Aseh lecha chatzotzrot means we are called to make ourselves into vessels of God's own holy breath. And that is not a command that only falls on one part of the gender or sexuality spectra. LGBTQ love is a way of breathing more of God's own love into the world. Aseh lecha chatzotzrot. What a powerful, beautiful learning that is for all of us. To understand that during Pride Month there is a Jewish emphasis on belonging. A divine expression of love is being celebrated. We shouldn't miss this obligation, not just this opportunity, because how blessed we are to see more love in our community, more love in our life, to see the possibilities of love is love is love as a blessing. It's our role as students of Torah to do what Torah has us do, to do what Torah itself does, which is to continue the trajectory of moving forward in response to the challenges of our day and the challenges of our own restricted imaginations. God's image is bigger than one of us, and God's love includes us all. So more love, friends, more love. It's Pride Month. Let's not leave that behind, because how impoverished we would be if we didn't let in all the love we possibly can. May we be blessed, each of us, to know that it is our right to be affirmed as an image of God, to have our love affirmed by our tradition, and to understand so deeply, friends, so deeply how rewarding it can be for us to recognize all the love around us. Let's send our hearts to the east. Let's sing. Kolon balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.